Welcome, everybody. Thank you for showing up to our Unity Light Activation group. The first and most popular question I get is, what is light language? And in its simplest form, it's an expression of energy. It's a multi-dimensional expression of energy. Each and every one of you have these languages within you. The languages are not designed for your intellect or your ego. It completely bypasses them. Speaks from your heart to your heart, or from your soul, from soul to soul. And it expresses on a multi-dimensional, well, it is in a multi-dimensional expression. So when someone speaks light language, the universe hears it, or the universe hear that. It's something that has completely changed my life. When I first started speaking light language, I didn't understand what it was, and I'm the type of geek that has to know everything. So I really studied and I dived in the deep end, and what I found there was one of the most amazing things that's ever happened to me. Again, it's an expression of energy, but it's an expression that can only be used for good. Now, where does it come from? As we're all infinite divine beings that have had infinite lives and experiences, we draw off of those particular experiences for the energies that are pertinent or directly reflect to our mission here in this reality. So the dialect that I speak, my primary dialect, and I speak many, and as all of you do as well, mine is the ancient Pleiadian is extremely old. So my primary dialect is actually millions upon millions of years old. Each and every one of you have these abilities within you. If you choose to do so, we can help you unlock these languages. Now, the first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a clearing, as we always do. And the reason that we do clearings is because, I mean, number one, and there are all different types of beings coming through the Stargate here. If you're on a particular wavelength, not only are you broadcasting the energy and generating it, but you're also attracting it simultaneously. So we want to clear any negative frequencies, that any hitchhikers that we may have picked up along the way. We all do it, and we can all release it. So let's just take a few breaths and we'll start our clearing. Nice deep breath into the nose, out through the mouth, into the nose, out through the mouth, into the nose. We now call back to us any part of us that we have given away, either willingly, inadvertently, or have had taken from us. We call back to us now that we may be fully restored, fully harmonized, and fully empowered. We call back to us now any part of us that we have given away, either willingly, inadvertently, or have had taken from us. We call back to us now that we may be fully restored, fully harmonized, and fully empowered. We call back to us now any part of us that we have given away, either willingly, inadvertently, or have had taken from us. We call back to us now that we may be fully restored, fully harmonized, and fully empowered. We will now heal and remove all and any negative influences. We welcome all entities in love and light. We speak to you now from the Lord God, Goddess of our being, telling you you are healed and forgiven, lifted and enlightened, healed and forgiven, lifted and enlightened, filled and surrounded by the Christ light, by the Christ love. May the beautiful many escort you to your perfect place. Go in peace, and so it is.
So it is.
We're going to start with a small blessing, and then we're going to go right into our sound healing. So again, take a nice deep breath. Now I ask you not to listen. I ask you to simply feel. These are empathic languages. So as we take a nice deep breath, come on in and join us. Don't be shy.
Are you lying down?
No, you don't have to lie down. Oh, Tracy's laying down. Okay, so if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to do get comfortable whatever way you want.
Unity.
It's off camera.
I like to lay down when meditating.
There's a couch right over here if you'd like to lay down.
Oh,
You can lay down right over here if you'd like.
thanks.
Sit wherever you'd like, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a blessing and alignment prayer. And again, close your eyes, quiet your ego minds. So we now center our awareness. We now quiet our egos. We now quiet our intellect. We now focus and hear and feel with our hearts. Toto tokiama moe eteti jasha se lata la toto kiama ka ezepi tukwa hina etatati hala watiana na kacha sheza wa eziana na wa kati te kya watena la nandotoya ya sechia ka toto hamakwa alavi via toto gia shisha mekya kya sa eleno no na kya mahala kwa hina mete Guata ruarishi se chiamano ka alawataka hene burshka esekya hene mekya bahala no kaya pokiti la toke tikisha zepi lohani kwa avoe la nanoe kya la toke tichese la kya la toya takamamwete la kiena na mama katatapohe la asa sheme la kwa ikha la nyana le nonankia le tiete kya kwa Tieto tata shasa pika alawatama kakwe ale lo tutukia bamo akata tiena naya lo to kohia makwi ale tutuki shesi beto to kiamoa le to ave pika yahiata takame la hanano dutoha le no dodai zua shakata kiama ahai okiela de peke mbwete kia pohi mashekia.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what language that is.
Because you're listening with your intellect. Listen with your heart, brother. Quiet your intellect. Quiet your ego. And only feel. You all know what language that is. You all recognize with your hearts. Again, we quiet our egos. Again, we quiet our intellects. And we only feel. So now we're going to do a little bit of sound healing and alignment to get us ready to do our exercises here. And if you would be so kind. As we hear the tones, allow that frequency, a little quieter, Lynn, a little quieter. Allow that frequency to penetrate, to align, to clear any obstructions in our thoughts, our heart thought. Focus on the tone and align your heart frequency with such. One more. Bata tikya, wehene mote tikya. Beto tu kia yate late nanyase. Bohalo to tu kimwe chaniti. Bieto taya takamwache. Aza a yato haya kwa huia lai. Bieto tu kiamo ka alawa zisheta kiamwa. Amae kwa ketie aloha yahata pe kia nentete. Letota ase. Ahiana kwa hiamwae kia. Bieto tiada. Bieto tu kia fapwe. Lahana no waha. Betwe na. There is this beautiful song that has been given to us. And the song is an activation code. And the activation codes, I'll share with those guys. The activation code are codes that you all have given to yourselves. And it's very, very simple. And it goes like this. Liano no lahi 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 All you guys ready? Liano lahi Liano no lahi Liano Keep singing. Let that spirit know where the light is. You guys are awesome. How cool is that, right? All right, so you all just were singing light language. How did you feel? Pretty good?
Awesome.
Pretty good? You feel the energy building?
Beautiful.
Okay, so now we're going to do something that's really fun. We're going to all make complete idiots out of ourselves. Completely foolish, let go of any inhibitions whatsoever, and we're all going to make some primal, simple, spiritual sounds. And this is a beautiful technique that our dear sister Jan DeSanti taught me, and we love to share it. And what we're going to do is we're all going to unlock our own light language within us. Each and every one of you has it. This is the time. I love this. You know, when everybody now you'll start not exactly sure where it's coming from. That doesn't matter. It's coming from your essence, okay? And when we start this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to take a really, really big breath, and we're going to blow it out. At the end of that breath, we're going to say, ha! So it's like, ha! 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 Ha!
Okay.
And at the end of that, okay, that's part one. And at the end of it, what we're going to do, we're going to take 10 really deep breaths. And at the end of it, what we're going to do is we're going to visualize a river flowing down a mountain out of our hearts. And that river, the water, is your speech, is your light speech, your light language, your expression from your souls. And it's going to come in a multitude of ways. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. Sometimes if you want to just say la 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 la, or doesn't matter. If it's an expression from your heart, it is light language. So we're going to do 10 breaths, okay? When we do the, yeah, pop back in there.
Sorry if I'm interrupting anything unless I speak after.
Well, let's do the exercise and then I'll answer questions afterwards. Is that okay? Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take those big breaths, and when we finish those 10 breaths, we're all going to light up, and everybody is going to speak light language for 5 minutes straight, nonstop. And it doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth. Almost. But don't allow your thought to get in your way. Just let your heart express. And that's the fun of this. And the more you allow yourself to do this, remember, this is not a gift. It's an inherent ability in each and every one of us. This light language has completely changed my life in ways I can't even verbalize. All positive. Light language is what brought me here to sit with you folks today. Had I not activated my light language, I wouldn't be here doing it either. Okay, remember that these are parts of ourselves that we are accessing. and have fun with it. That's the best part about light languages. It's really fun. Okay, so we're holding those joy frequencies and just laugh. Like, is there anybody that already speaks light language here? Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this just before we, I will say something to you. You respond, and then Julie moves. Okay. Okay, as the idea that the beginning of I had to as the end of the day, the teacher said, why the get a why? I said, we'll get to the end of the day. Yes, sir. A one no, I can say what the year or here the cut is a shaman.
Ana kika ana ea a oho ni sneakai. This is open Ushandara kila manala kola kaya undra shiro sondala shila sondala kana mana undra shiro sondala kila manala koa undra shiro sondala kana la manala shira hundala kila koala sandala shira sondala kila manala koa hola sandala shira sondala kia undra kaya.
What you're feeling is the language of your home and where your heart is. And that is a beautiful gift you're giving yourself, allowing yourself to feel these frequencies. Enjoy it, feel it, acknowledge it, and allow yourself to be yourself. Whether you feel tears, whether you feel joy, allow yourself to do it. You're among family here. You are safe. There's no one will ridicule you or anything like that. We encourage you to feel these beautiful emotions. And this will wake up dormant parts of your consciousness, dormant parts of your memories. It's endless. So if you feel these feelings as we're speaking, it's a really good thing. So why don't we go around and do that one more time before we do our exercise? Pianta ese se qua zebeto to qua ya mama e qua esebi de dia lenia posisce mene no to qua amme qua ci si laniana na ko to quite da capa me da scesini na no to è se da anse pico da me che laniana non qua esebi qua ci si na tata to qua si di dia da qua di na lenia na da che se qua ababuga na che ti chiama ma se si sama tata da come
Kania. And I need to not go little and I need to oh no. Oh no. It is not going to I need to stop. I sneak in oh yes.
Yes.
Oh, Sandara Shira, Sondala Kiela Manalakoa, under the Shira, Sondala Kiela Manalakoa, under the Kaila Kolana Shira, Sondala Kiela Manalakoa, under the Kiela Shandala Kiela of Kona, oh, Sandala Kiela Manalakoa.
So let's all take 10 really deep breaths. And at the end, when I say go, we're all going to just let whatever comes from our heart and remember to, well, think of the mountain. Think of beautiful Mount Adams, that beautiful, huge feminine energy, pouring love, pouring encouragement, pouring acceptance out of our hearts, and to share. These languages are meant to be shared to help each other wake up. That's why we're all here. That's why we're all vibrating at this level. So we're going to take 10 deep breaths, with the ha, and then everybody is let it out. No apprehension. Just let yourself flow. Ready? Big breath. And speak. Allow yourself to speak. Let's speed up. Louder. Let the heavens hear you. La torre si siena netta, a qua si l'ubbia se non trattata non fate di minecchia, la chiama non cose hanno non fatto quasi Why to say hi? Watch the media. Why I know what the game on with the key? Let that got the key. Really loud now. Yes, I should fight out the queen of the yard. La you should fight it again. La questa sana. La stessa non è che. La stessa non è che. Questa non è che. We can know la ma che senso. Basta che non è. Washa come me. Attention, nacca, attention. Lei non ha. Se c'è già se va che non va che piano. Attention, già same way. Le sta non è che so si c'è come quando ti vedete che non ha che piazza se va che ma c'è sanino. Lei ha le reperesce. C'è non ha che si c'è It's okay. It's okay. It's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. Sometimes it'll come flying out of you. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but it will happen. It will happen. You just gotta want it. You gotta believe it. Let it come out. I saw words wanting to creep out of you guys. You know, they're just a little bit in there. You know, but it's okay. It's there. Well, that's just you'll just have to work on that, and then work on quieting the ego and the intellect so that you're strictly from the heart, and that'll release a lot of that resistance. What were you feeling?
I don't know where that came from.
I do.
But you do. It came from your soul.
I was quite sure that I was going to sit here for 5 minutes going la la la, and other stuff came out.
And how did that make you feel when it did?
It just opened a part of me I didn't know was closed.
How beautiful.
Yeah. I still have goosebumps.
Well, the energy is, we created a column of energy right now, which we're going to continue to build and enjoy. What'd you feel?
I felt like, someone was trying to come out, and I was saying things I don't understand.
Well, you're saying things that your intellect and your ego doesn't understand, right? But again, we're speaking from the heart. So these languages bypass from the neck up. We bypass that, so it does not confuse us. And you're speaking on a multidimensional aspect. So when you speak these languages, you are speaking to the multiverse, and the multiverse returns. How about you? What'd you feel?
Joy. When the words came through, they came through as a song. I was like singing my own blessing. My face has been hot the minute I sat here, and I keep putting my hands up here because it's like I'm on fire. And so when these words came through, it's like, oh, of course. Joy, lots of joy, lots of laughter. I can feel the flow coming from that side over there. It's just.
Yeah, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you love, the two of you. Love from my heart and raising the vibration of everybody.
So the laughter just seemed really, tears are flowing down my face. Wonderful.
Beautiful emotion, pure emotion, right? Yeah, it's not attached to too much of the thought, right? It just flows.
And it was song. It just came on its own.
We'll talk about that once we get around the circle,
Yeah.
I was really starting to feel hot here. My heart was just open lots and lots of times. We talked last night about the higher beings and just pure love and joy, and I had the sense that was the energy that was.
You open those upper chakras wide open, yeah, instead of just having it locked down in the lower three, which is what society has programmed us to do. So you were accessing much more of yourself. You have a very beautiful dialect. Just do it all the time. What were you feeling? I know you guys had a little bit of resistance. You were a little apprehensive in there, but what were you feeling when we were doing this?
Definitely felt peaceful and good energy. Still a lot of societal programming over here, so
It's okay. It's okay. We all do it in our own divine timing.
I'm from a strict religion. Recently kind of opened up my mind and my heart.
So you were feeling the energies. Did you feel like you really wanted to express a little bit more, but maybe needed to release some of the past stuff a little bit? Past trauma. So you've taken a step into a much larger world, as Obi-Wan said. I think it's amazing myself. Lynn, what were you feeling?
Well, I could definitely feel that, like you're a little bit through that programming, and I understand that as a teacher, almost started to get pulled in a little bit to that at first, and then I was like, no, I'm not, and send you love, and it's a lot easier. This conversation with John. I did it with my son Levi, who's 13, and so it was just, I think the more you experience it, the easier it will be for you, and make it
major release, major emotional release. I was singing as well. I think I was singing in that language. I'm not real sure. Doesn't matter.
You were singing in the heart language is what does matter. And the fact that you were you're giving enough to share those emotions with the rest of us. Thank you so much for being open, and your vulnerability, as all of us, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, that is our strength. Allowing ourselves to be true to ourselves and release that programming that we're all, you know, from an early age, they put us in this little box. Well, my box no longer has any walls. I'm no longer in the box. And I don't think any of you are either. I think that just the way you're expressing is just an amazing thing. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. It's a beautiful gift that you have given us.
Joy and passion and a lot of warmth. When I came in here, I've got a sweater and a jacket, and I was cold and chilly. And as soon as we started singing, I got hot and I took the jacket off. And then when I started talking, I just warmth from here all the way up, just heat. I was sweating. I'm going like this. So and also singing, I found just tones coming out and words that I didn't, my mind doesn't recognize, but in song, and that was really neat.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Cool.
I felt very peaceful, lots of goosebumps, the God bumps is what I call them. And I just felt, I did feel like songs. I felt like songs kind of wanted to come through, but I also did feel like my mind was like affecting me, you know, like I kept having to like shut my mind off, be like, just shut up, you know, think about the heart, you know, and just kind of fight. It was like this inside battle. Like once in a while, as I was speaking, I had to kind of go away. Yeah, it was really powerful. I speak in different languages at night. I'm not sure what they are. So it's nice to actually kind of get out of my comfort zone and try to speak out when I'm fully awake.
Oh, you speak in your sleep, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's nice to kind of get out of my comfort zone and try to do it out in the open.
Absolutely. Nice release to actually, well, the other thing I found is to be comfortable with it. And once you start expressing with it, you're going to find just so many different ways to use your light speech. And you'll find that, you know, if you say you speak in your sleep, you probably are already speaking multiple dialects. And we'll talk about that.
She is multiple ones and very joyful. She'll laugh and stuff too. We've recorded a bunch.
Excellent.
Oh, great. Joy, laughter. And I started with one language and then morphed into 2 or 3 others that I know. And so I would stop when it was wanting to, something else wanted to come out, and I'd have to like give it a minute and shift, and out comes the next. It was fun. And then it was like expressing love for all the other me's and those names, and I started remembering their names, and I knew exactly what I was saying. It was joy.
It's pretty incredible.
And then of course, others that are with me, I hear them laughing, going, "It's about time."
Yeah, I kind of got that too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you need to, yeah, what have you been waiting for all this time? You know, get off the couch and, yeah, okay, I'm off.
How many times have we tried to get you to do this? Hello. Yeah.
So what does the violet flame have to say to us?
Well, lots of tears, and I really tried to speak. I can only sing.
And you know something, that's not, then sing, if that's the way you express. Now remember, light language is not just spoken word, it's not just singing, but it can be art, it can be written, it can be signed, because what are those? They're visual vibration. Everything is vibration. And if we're accessing those certain aspects of ourselves, remember, it's vibration. So any expression like that, like Miriam, she expresses, maybe she's not using an ancient dialect, but the tonality and the intent behind her speech is light language in just a different form. All of it is light language. If somebody's singing a song and it's from the heart, whether it be in any language or just tones themselves, again, that's light language because of where it's coming from and the intent behind it. So yes, if you're going to sing, you're expressing in light language. We just call it light language to wrap our 3D minds around it, but really it's so much more than that. It's an expression from our true selves, and it's multidimensional. So there's no one translation for it. People say, what did you say? Well, yes, I can give you a word for word translation. It wouldn't be 1%. It wouldn't even amount to even a fraction of 1%. And my dear brother, Nakoma, made this brilliant statement, and I bring this up all the time. one short phrase of light language can contain an entire library's worth of information. So when you say 2 or 3 words, could be a lifetime you're describing, or you're delivering codes. Now they're in the, we call them in the form of light codes. We're familiar with that terminology in our group here. It's called the Unity Light Activation Group, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But if I do an activation for someone, a personal activation, prior to incarnating this time, we have made an agreement for me to come and deliver this certain set of codes to you, and it may contain memory, it may contain abilities, it may contain a multitude of different things, but I'm the messenger. I didn't write these codes, and I like to refer to myself as like a galactic mailman. I'm delivering you a letter that you wrote to yourself, and it's the way you are. Are you going to open the letter and read it, or are you going to put it in your but it's your letter. And so that's the way I really like to approach that. And Julia got activated during one of our live groups online, and she just lit up. We were doing this exercise right online. She started singing and speaking, and we haven't been able to stop her since. But, you know. So Julia, what were you feeling when we were doing our exercise?
Well, it's so powerful. I do meditation alone in the morning, and I do my light language, but when you do it with, it's so powerful, and there's so much love. And I meditate, my goal is heaven on earth, and I'm going to create it, manifest it. And we're all connected. Every single one of us are connected. So when I speak the light language, I just feel connected to the one, the source. You could call it God, or, you know, but I create that heaven on earth. I could feel the change in my living room, you know, the light, and my day goes great. And even if bad things happen, I don't even notice. It just changes my whole day, my whole attitude with people. So when we were doing it, I felt another dialect came through. I have this, I've been stuck with a couple phrases, and she thinks it's leering because she sees lime beans around me, the lime beans when I speak it. And avian came through. I got activated a few days ago. He did a radio show, and we were listening to it, and an avian came through, and that's what came through again. It actually almost mixed with the Lyran. It kind of mixed, the old and the new dialect kind of mixed. And I just felt but I could feel for the first time, really, it's not about the translation, it's about the heart sending love, raising the vibration, so we can enter into fifth dimensional consciousness and create heaven on earth. And I really felt that. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I've been feeling goosebumps almost all the time since we started with the light language. And I didn't know what to expect when we were doing the breaths, and I didn't know what would happen. I was surprised how easily my mouth just started moving and words started coming out without me intending, you know, without trying to drag it consciously. So I was
pretty
surprised.
cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I felt calming and emotional right from the beginning with this entry language that we used, and I wanted to thank everybody for sharing their innermost, because this is really special. And then as a group, we can change the world. And John's the courier here, and I appreciate that. This is an amazing thing. I really feel enlightened, and I did block a couple times, and it's always good to have a visual. And so I visualized the mountain filling my heart, and just started all over again. So there was three stops there where I was like, oh, that's the end of the language, and then it didn't stop. It just kept going.
Well, let's talk about the blocks for a couple minutes. The biggest obstacle we have as far as being light language speakers, which all of you are, is the ego. The ego is going to sit there and say, this is gibberish, or, you know, like you had firsthand knowledge of it. It's going to sit there and argue with you. Okay, now what are you doing? That's the foolish, you know. It's because the ego does not understand this, and that's actually the precise purpose of the light languages and all their forms of expression, is to bypass intellect and ego. And so coming into our self-mastery, our ego is probably the biggest obstacle of anything we're doing as far as anything that has to do with our ascension. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to give up eating these certain foods, and I'm going to give up acting this way and doing this type of activity because it doesn't resonate with what my heart's telling me. And the ego is saying, but no, you need to go do this, and you need to have this, and you have to have the big house, and you have to be driving this car. Well, I quiet all that down and I allow myself to access my truer self from my heart. And that blockage of society, just all those little programs, and there are, you know, they were really, really clever when they created these programs to keep us locked in. But we have this incredible fire that burns in all of us, this beautiful light of the Creator. We are all a fractal of that consciousness. So we can bypass that ego very, very easily by choosing to, allowing ourselves. Now, one thing that's really important is I keep getting this message, and it's from the collective, and it's for all of us, is we must forgive ourselves for all the transgressions that we've had in this lifetime and others. If we're holding on to any low frequencies, guilt, envy, anger, you know, anything, we first, if we can allow ourselves to forgive ourselves for the foolish things we did when we were younger and not so younger, and then we can forgive others. And if we can forgive others, where are we coming from? We're strictly coming from a place of love. If we can come from that particular position of love, there's nothing we can't do. Look at the energy that we all created together. None of us did this individually. We all did it together. And one of my favorite sayings is, we all hold a piece of the puzzle, and together we create the divine masterpiece. So it's, again, what are we doing? Simply by virtue of this meeting, we are helping raise the collective frequency of this planet by our intent. Our intent was to allow our languages to speak, to allow our heart to express. And I think that that's why when we do these languages and we do these little exercises and techniques, we feel more than we think, right? Does everybody agree with that? That you felt more than anything else?
Mm-hmm. You're not worrying about, do I have the right words?
That's it. It's and like anything else with the higher dimensionals, they don't really care what you're saying. It's the intent, because you're coming from a place of purity. So you could be speaking complete gibberish, but as long as you have the intent that's fueling that particular expression, that's what is the real core of it. And we do express in the form of language, but then when you start to, they're talking about song, right? And song, back in ancient days, the prayers were sung, and there's a really particular reason for it. Now let's talk about what it's like to be a speaker. What are you doing on a mechanic? There are actual mechanisms and the physical mechanisms. So as these languages come up through us, we're actually, each of the body chakras has its own particular sacred tone or sound, right? And so these languages are laden with all these sacred sounds and codes. So not only are you activating people around you, but you're activating yourself. So we have that. Then we have the sound traveling up and stimulating the back of the throat and the roof of the mouth, which in turn stimulates the pineal gland, which releases something called dimethyltryptamine. And dimethyltryptamine is a substance that exists in all living things. And it is the physical, metaphysical interface. It's what connects the two aspects. Well, although the metaphysical is so vast, but it allows us to really access higher parts of our consciousness. So when I speak it, instead of having to go into a state of meditation and really focus on calming myself, quieting my ego, quiet the intellect, bringing my focus down into my heart and going from there, all I have to do is bring my intent, and then I speak my light language. And that immediately allows me to access those higher parts of my consciousness. You guys are no different. And my suggestion is, when you start speaking, you'll find yourself alone or whatever, speak it all the time. Allow yourself to get used to it and accept that you have these divine gifts and have always had them, and start to use them to benefit yourself. You can use them for healing. You can use them to heal yourself. You can take yourself out of a bad mood. Somebody really upsets you and does something really terrible to you or whatever. You respond in light language. You're immediately raising your vibration simply by accessing that ability. immediately, as soon as you speak light language, your vibration comes up. It's a wonderful tool. So it's a tool that you can use for yourself. You can share it, which is really one of the main purposes of these languages and expressions, is to share and aid each other. We're here to remind each other who we all are. Why are we here? Who are you as a being? I know who I am as a being. I know who you are as a being. We're all divine, infinite beings. But we forget through all this programming and all these different lifetimes, we have had many of our memories removed, and there's a very specific purpose for having those removed. So that when we go through these experiences, we have intimate knowledge and understanding of these particular experiences that we've gone through. May it be a joyful experience, a traumatic experience. We know these experiences to such degree because we had no memory. You go to a movie and you know how it ends, it kind of ruins it, right? It's kind of the same type of principle, but it's these lifetimes. So by accessing your light language, you can kind of quiet some of the blockage, quiet some of the clutter and the distraction. And it's a tool to center yourself and express and allow ourselves to really be ourselves. And not only that, but remind each other, each and every one of us, who we are, why we're here, and where did we come from. Wow, you could have hit a pin drop. any questions, anybody?
I kind of spaced out quite a bit. I didn't follow everything.
And it's okay, that's the whole thing about doing something like this is that, number one, it's fun, and we're here to, this isn't here to get real heavy and bring any low frequencies down. It's like, I think it's fun. This is one of the funnest things that I can think of is just sharing, sharing these frequencies with everybody and then sharing back. I do this. I get a lot of, like, as you're expressing, and when when everybody opens their eyes and I look around and I see everybody speaking light language, I'm in the middle getting blasted by all this awesome energy. You guys are giving me, expressing such love to me. All the hair stands on end and I'm just, wow, this is great, So it's not like I'm not receiving too. It creates a flow of energy, and it is an exchange. And what you'll find is as you get really comfortable speaking your light language, you're gonna, I can use it for this. Or I know healers, they use it for their healing. Or it's endless. Nakoma's constantly coming up with. Yeah, and by the way, he's over 300 dialects. My star brother Nakoma speaks over 300 dialects at this point in about 4.5 months. I don't know how he keeps track of all that stuff. But it's on a higher level, he is a gatekeeper, and he needs to speak all these different dialects to communicate with all these different races and all these different frequencies within the races that they hold. And so there's all these sub-dialects, like my dialect, my primary is Ancient Pleiadian. But within the Pleiadian dialects alone, there's over 7,000 dialects in there. So if you think about all the star nations, how many are there in the Andromedan dialects? How many in the Arcturian dialects? How many in the Syrian? How many in the Lyran? And it goes on and on and on. So there are infinite dialects. But what is the most important is we speak directly from our hearts. Now, if you go on Unity Light Activation Group, our page, and you'll see some people that are signing, okay? And that's just a different expression. So that's going to go right into your subconscious. It goes right past our conscious thought with the blinders, and it'll settle in there. Now, each and every one of you has these codes setting in your energy field right now, and they will access them at any time. You tend to access them during your sleep, your dream time. Now, dream time, we are all very, very busy. Many people don't remember their dreams. I happen to remember almost all of them and what I've done the night before, and I wake up exhausted because this kid's busy. I got a lot of jobs to do, and you guys are no different. You're operating because, remember, you are multidimensional beings, and this is a fractal of your expression, a fractal of your existence. And when we I don't want to call it channeling, because may it be channeling? Yes. It may be something else, but for me, it's an expression of truth from my core. And that's what I loved about it, because you can't lie in light language, right? You can't be angry with light language and hold that frequency. The anger will just dissipate, and all of a sudden you'll be like, not angry at all, because I went into my tool. I used my tools. I reached in my toolbox and I grabbed the specific tool I need for this specific moment right here and now.
I just had a funny vision of sitting in traffic jams and people with their windows down going,
Get out of my way!
John, this is Miriam.
Hi, Miriam.
The expression that I'm dubbing you is soul speaker.
Oh, I love that.
Soul speaker. And those who have soul speaking, doing light language is soul speaking, soul singing, soul signing. Soul speaking, soul singing, soul signing. And it really is, the soul is all there is within us. So that is the source of it all, is soul. So I dub you Master Soul Speaker of our group.
You can remove the master part, but I'll do this all. Yeah.
And I also, we talked about this once before, but I'd also like to invite everyone there and online. If you would set your cell phone alarm to 11:11 every morning, and for 1 minute, just through your intention, whether you're soul speaking, singing, or signing, through that 1 minute of intention, bring heaven on earth.
That's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Thank you. Beautiful.
So I just got a message to do a prayer for you guys in song. And so when we're done with that, they asked if you guys wouldn't mind singing the other song again. Are you okay with that?
I like the song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll do this. And again, let's just talk about song versus spoken word. You guys will feel the energy. I'm sure you already do, is when the spoken word is performed or expressed, which is a better word. When it's expressed, you feel the energies at a certain level. But when they're sung, it kind of click, click, click. You know, it kind of brings it to like maybe a higher frequency or a higher expression of that frequency. And so, like, we go back to ancient times, they were sung because what were they doing? They were accessing more energy, higher expression, and it amplifies it and accelerates it at the same time versus the spoken word. So that's why the song is so effective in getting everybody to really remember and wake up inside. Okay, so I'll do this particular song. Lanai chahe tutai anno ono tai nonai lai nai tutui kai lenon dai chai kai lo to nai henai quiet dai no kuai no to Letoika and no ye lea nanae wano toi te ai la tai ano koi pue la toshiano to meno tai kai no toi kai leto nai Leto nai wano do atai nai lete no tai ano to aque no tai no to nai Lenota chiace teodo achianiate quai, noto e chiano e deiai, l'anno e deiai wahanane, lenie lenocche no.
Lovely soul singing. Thank you.
I've heard that before. Major deja vu and goosebumps while you were singing that. I've heard that. I'm aware, not here.
There were some that you sang that also sounded a little Hebrew.
My answer to why do I hear French? Why do I hear Hebrew? Why do I hear Native American?
Because they're all mixed
Where
together.
did those languages come from? Are you guys ready?
Yep.
One more. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for the gifts you've been giving all of us. Really, really.
The
fun.
energy's incredible.
Anybody online want to say anything? Don't everybody talk.
Many blessings.
Hi family, how are you all? Thank you for yeah, being here in this space, and so nice to see you all.
Well, thank you for joining us and sending your love and energy our way.
Always a pleasure, John.
I'm just getting this overwhelming sense that I just want to. I think very when the lion beings come, you know, it's like very, you know, if we had a camera right now, I'm sure there's orbs spinning around. I'm seeing, you know, movement, but when the lion beings show up, I always laugh. You know, it's just like we're not alone here, and there's so many beautiful entities that like to join, and when they feel this frequency, they're drawn to it.
Yep, that's square.
Anybody want to share anything?
I have a question. I think it's going to sound weird, but I feel like there's so much.
I'm just wondering, I'm talking about dialects, and my understanding there is that when there's a change of words and pattern, or when there's when the tone changes, is that a different dialect, or when there's something quite different? Yeah, is that what you understand you're changing in dialects to be? Can you just speak a little bit about that?
About what the dialects are? Okay.
Yeah.
The way that I understand the dialects is it comes from our galactic lineage. So we've all lived, you know, multitude of lives. Each of us has a particular mission that we have come to this planet. We've all volunteered to be here, and the reason that we volunteered to be here is because we all are extremely courageous. We all have amazing amounts of skills and abilities that we bring with us. This is no accident we're all sitting right here. And the dialects reflect what experiences that we need to be dominant in this particular reality. I'll use my lineage as an example. Primarily angelic or advanced Andromedan. Then it goes to Pleiadian, ancient Pleiadian. Then it goes to Arcturian, Syrian, Lyran, and it goes down the ladder. We all are a bunch of mutts here. There's nobody that's pedigree. You know, we are all a multitude of different beings, but it comes to whatever is what we need to perform and bring bring the perfect light to this planet right here now, and express the way we need to be able to really achieve and bring our missions to completion.
Wow.
My mission here is to help aid in the ascension of mankind. I'm here on this planet to do exactly what I'm doing right now, to share with you all and have you all share with me, and to create these frequencies that we all co-created here. None of us did it individually. We all do it collectively. We are all bringing ourselves to unity consciousness, simply focusing our intent. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So when different dialects come through, that's what's required in that moment, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
And it can come from any part of the multiverse.
you like, all right, let's take an example. So when you're expressing in a multitude of dialects, then what, you're a mailman too, or a mail carrier, you know, but you're in a galactic sense. So what are you doing? You're expressing codes for someone or all of us in this circle, or someone else online that will feel you or feel you. So what are we doing? We're all messengers, all delivering letters. And you may have a bag full of them, or you may just have one for this particular moment. But we are all messengers sharing that galactic message, that message from the 0 point, the unity consciousness, you know, from, well, source, where we all come from. And it does filter down in through our galactic lineages. And so that's why, and we can call these dialects, but really let's simplify it. It's an expression of the heart. That's all it really is. We can call it, put all these beautiful tags on it and make it really complicated, but it's not. It's very simple. It's an expression of our true essence. And and what is our true state of being? Love and joy. That's why when we're upset, we feel so bad, because that's not our natural state to be in. Our natural state is to be joyful, caring of each other, supportive, creative. I don't know about you guys, but I want to feel that way every day, all day.
And when I'm that way, people around me, I'm that way.
Because
They
why?
don't
Because
get
they're
it.
not ready to hold that frequency yet.
No, they're not.
You know, or they're not ready to release the boat anchor that's been on their leg. You know, but you're like, so what did you do earlier? You released a huge boat anchor.
Oh yeah, big time.
And that balloon went straight up.
I got it. Yes, on the fly runs, by the way. When you were talking, I was like there, and there was an entity here that was like holding my heart. And when I got to a point, it stood up and turned and walked away. And I'm like, oh, you're still there. Who was that? You know, the strength. Yeah, definite entities and orbs and energies flowing throughout the entire group. It's a big deal. It really is. And our ascension is a big deal. And I think we're in it. I don't think it's coming. I think we're in it.
You know we're in it. It's a knowing, and we are indeed. There's not the shift is not coming.
It's here.
This is it, and this is what we're doing. And
John?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Miriam. That's why the invitation for everyone to do the 1 minute soul speaking at 11:11 every day, that's a group energy that can be worldwide. And when 2 or more are gathered and the group is setting that intention and energy exactly at that moment, all the angels and the guides and teachers join us. And so by setting a specific time and doing it for the 1 minute, we get the group energy going. And I just invite everyone to participate in it, because you're feeling the group energy now. Imagine doing this every day at 11:11 worldwide. We can make a difference.
We are making a difference. And I'm going to add one thing to that.
Yes.
If we can all, every day, do one small kind act for a complete stranger, we can change this world in 1 day. Whether it be a smile, holding the door for someone, anything that simple, but one tiny little kind act for a complete stranger every day. Think about what would happen if everybody on this planet, you know, it's called paying it forward. But what are we paying it forward to? We're paying it forward to heaven on earth. We're changing this world. I don't see when people say, "Oh, it's the news and everything's going," I don't see that. I don't subscribe to any of those frequencies. I live my life from here, and as soon as I started doing that, the doors opened up, and synchronistically, here I am at ECETI, speaking to you incredible people, rather than being isolated back in Massachusetts because I didn't have anybody to talk to about the same thing that we're talking about. I think it's one of the most incredible things that's ever happened to me, was to really go inside and realize who I really am. And when I know who I really am, I look around and I'm like, I know who all you guys are as well. I see auras on every single one of you. I see your energy. I feel you. Even you. The only thing excluding you is the thought that you're excluded. You're not. You're right here with us. You're just sitting over there. But your energy is here with us, brother. Know that we are not different in that aspect. We're not separate. There is no separation. The only separation we have is a separation we perceive. And if we don't, there you go, it's an illusion. I don't choose to accept that at all. I see too much unity. I see too much love. I see too much expression. No one can convince me otherwise.
Checking out a couple of years ago, I kind of checked out from the news and just the mainstream media, and I've noticed that they keep us divided.
Yes.
They keep us afraid of each
Absolutely.
other. They keep us. That's not the case. Most people I meet are very genuine, kind, loving people. It's not what you read in the news and you think, oh my gosh, everyone's out to get me. Everyone's dangerous. No, we're not.
They don't want that.
Since I stopped paying attention to that, it no longer encompasses my being.
And it frees you.
Yes.
Frees you to do so much more. And now we don't remember. If you remember that old saying, "Judge not, lest you be judged."
Yeah.
Well, think about that. If we don't judge and we just accept, okay, you have a particular. Let's take somebody who is going through their changes and they're going through a lot of the emotional baggage and they act out. And maybe they act out because they're not sure how to express, or they're maybe fearful of really touching something and that trauma within. But by allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, what are we doing? We're accessing our ultimate strength. We're not giving our power away to some program. Oh, I got to have this car. I got to drink this beer. I gotta have my hair cut a certain way because or I can't speak light language in public because I'm going to be judged. Let them judge me.
You do it anyway.
Let them judge me. Because when I see back at them, I just say, these are beautiful beings too. They're just not awake. They're just not ready to be awakened yet, but they will be. So what do? If somebody is really being very difficult, I do my very best to send love and healing their way and not allow myself to be drawn into that emotional trap and put the thought pattern into an infinity symbol so it just repeats. I'll transmute that to where it's a Fibonacci spiral and the energy flows freely in both directions. And that's a choice. We all have that choice. And again, what do we come down to? It's that simple word, intent. Everything is intent. It's not about the words. These words are a vehicle for us to express our intent. That's all they are. It's a tool. And you all hold that tool right here. Very, very proud of you all for expressing and allowing yourself to touch these parts of yourself and to go inward with this. Now we have about 12 minutes left. It's up to you guys how we finish out our group here. Sure. Fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional Syrians. So when you talk about, you look at the Syrians, there's many, many Syrian systems. There's many, many Pleiadian systems. They're called star nations. And because they have they basically populated and many, many, many planets. So you'll get hybrids and you'll get hybrid dialects. So she's talking about how one dialect kind of was flowing into another. I'll speak two different dialects.
You don't need to feed me anymore.
Where it's like, back to Pleiadian.
Yeah.
So you feel the difference in the energies when I change the dialects? What is that? That's expression, right? And so like the second one, don't ask me what dialect that is. I don't know. And honestly, I don't really care.
One
because
was Russian.
the
The
again,
other one's softer.
the ancient Pleiadian is, I've done a bunch of research and gotten confirmation through my guides and other researchers and other star seeds that have been speaking, many, many years. But like the second one, if you notice how it is percussive in nature. And so when I'm doing that, my crown is like, I feel like I have a head lice. I got to scratch, it's because it's, you
get a buzz.
But you guys are no different. You can take the languages and express in whatever way you feel fit to use these. Now, you were having a bad day with the saw the other day and certain things like that. Now that you unlocked your speech, you can immediately go into that speech and just bring energy and clear. Now, when you're doing a clearing, this is a really cool thing that my guides used to do, is they would ask me a question in English and ask me to answer in ancient Pleiadian. And what they were doing is they were teaching me it's not teaching because we are remembering, because we all have this knowledge within us, but it would remind me how to focus my intent when I'm using this tool. And that's what it is. So John, what do you think of the color blue? Quite a bit. No matter this is apply. This is what you get today. What do you do back at you? What did you say? What did you think I said? What did you feel that I said? More importantly, what did you feel? And it's just a wonderful way of, and you guys can play these games with your guides as well, or each other, And then like you'll see like Ashley or Lori and I will walk by each other and throw a couple phrases at each other, and we'll just start laughing. And what is it? It's just an expression of love and joy. And I'm taking this set of energy and this codes, and I'm going to set them right in your lap. And they're joyful codes, and they're an expression of my caring, acknowledgement, and my honoring of you. But I express it in the form of light language. It's like making a really nice card for somebody just because, it's not your birthday. It's just because. And that's just a wonderful way to express.
We need to talk later. No, we talked earlier, but
yeah. There's a lot of similarities. Yeah.
Oh, I think we were on another planet together.
Quite possible.
You said something that I just like clicked, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Well, these are soul connections too, and that's another thing that this really happens when you really start allowing yourself to speak. Is you're going to run into people that you will. Why do I feel? I like that one. Feel like we knew each other all our lives. It's like, well, this life, yes, or maybe not. But in past lives, it may be a whole series of lives that we've lived together. And then all of a sudden you get lit up like Lori. Lori is my sister. She's been my sister many, many times. This one here, we've been through, we'll find out sometime how many, but many, many lives. My brother Lorcan there, he's a physical brother, he's not here. No, I don't have any biological brothers, but I have 4 of them that are so close to me, and they're all they're baby brothers to me, every last one of them. And one's much taller than me, one's much wider than me, but they're my baby brothers because of where, I have that affection for them and I feel that connection. And these people are all over the world, and light language brought me to my brothers and my sisters, the ones that these soul connections. And I can't say enough about what a wonderful, wonderful, and I do call it a gift, because I've given it to myself and I've allowed myself to really express, and so have all you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Soul synchronicities, John. Soul synchronicities.
I totally agree, Reverend Miriam. There I am. Well, if nobody has anything else to say?
Why don't you tell them what you were seeing?
Did you want to talk about what you were seeing during that?
So during the end part, so I was playing a little with energy. I was doing blue, like a little lighter than cobalt blue energy, and then the Sasquatch came all around the building, and the fairies were flying in like mad, and there was just sweet energy coming from all over.
there was a little orb that little one, and then corner of my eye where that square big speaker is, like I just looked as we were finishing our song, and I saw plasma. I could see right through it. It was plasma energy, very fast, almost like a ghost kind of thing. I wasn't sure what it was, but it was watching us. I mean, it was loving, but
They or it?
I think it was it.
Okay.
One thing. But yeah, you can, I'm seeing things here that I've never seen.
Me too.
I saw my first fairy this morning in the field, and she was beautiful. It was just incredible.
So is la'iye like a greeting? La'iye.
What does your heart tell you that we're saying there? Because it's a layered meaning.
I see it.
Spot on. Spot on. It's a greeting, it's an honoring, and it's an acknowledgement.
Because it's going to be swimming through my head all day, and I'm going to be saying, la'iye. Just want to make sure it's an okay thing.
Yeah, okay, so in closing, because we only have a couple minutes left here, but in closing, practice your light language all the time. Allow it to flow. It'll come. Just let that baggage out, let it step out of the way, and let your heart, sometime when you guys are alone somewhere, start speaking it back and forth to each other. Now, then what will happen is you guys won't be able to shut each other up. And that'll allow you to remember your alignment for your chakras, it's all hidden within that speech. Toning, which is, when we do like the long tones and things like that, that's light language and different expression and very powerful. So any expression, whether it be drawing, whether you're writing symbols, signing, remember that there's ancient symbolism. Fire, initiation by fire. You'll see pictures of Christ holding these. The metal. These are all very, very basic and they're expressions of light language. Ow. That sounded painful.
I know, huh?
But I think that's about it for today. Thank you guys so much. You were awesome.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody online. Love you very much.
Speakers and singers, thank you.
Yay,